It's That's Lit with me, Shazzy D, here from home, and I am interviewing a variety of lovely guests, also from their homes. And joining me on the show is Mary Liu. Mary, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me on the show, Sharon.
Not a problem at all. You are the founder of a lingerie line called Soy Spice.
That's right.
Yes. So can you tell me what is it that inspired you to launch it?
So I started Soy Spice Lingerie around 7 months ago. But before then, I had spent the last 10 years of my career in the startup scene. So I actually started my entrepreneurial journey at the age of 19, yeah. And I had a charity with my best mate back in Adelaide. So when I came to Sydney in 2012, we were still running the charity, but it got a little bit hard because we're in different states, so we ended up shutting it down. But when I came here to finish my final year in my bachelor's degree, I started another business helping international students on work experience, and ran that for about 2 years full time after I graduated, and then had spent 4 years at UNSW Founders, which is the startup hub on campus. So while I was there, my main role was to support the students that came through us through mentoring. So I was looking at launching and giving them advice on launching and growth of their business ideas. But very soon I realized that the number of male students that walked through our doors was far greater than the number of female students. And so that's when I thought, we should change that. So I started a program called New Wave Founders, which was aimed at supporting specifically female students on campus. So the program was a 2-week-long incubator program where we had invited different mentors and speakers to join us. And within 1 year of running the program, we managed to increase the number of female participation in entrepreneurship by 13%.
Yeah.
While I was at UNSW, not only did I realize that the number of female students was a lot less than guys, I realized that the number of Asian female students was even lesser. So I started looking online, doing some research, and I came across this article by the Workplace and Gender Equality Agency that stated that last year in 2019, I think it was only 17% of CEOs were women. And then there was another article where I came across by Forbes, which said that men will apply for a job when they are 60%, when they meet 60%. You know the article?
Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. When they meet 60% of the job requirements, whereas women will apply when they meet 100%.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I started talking to more people in the industry and spoke to a lady called Natasha Rawlings. She's lovely, like I love her so much. She's been mentoring me over the last few years, and she used to be the CEO of Head Over Heels, which is the nation's, one of the nation's largest female-only entrepreneurship program. And so, so she was saying that back in the days when she was an entrepreneur, there was hardly any female-specific programs dedicated for entrepreneurs. But over the last few years, there's more of them that's popping up, like Head Over Heels, Springboard Enterprise, for example, and the thing that I started at UNSW. This is also quite prevalent in the corporate world as well. There's more diversity and inclusion programs that's popping up over the last few years as well. In fact, I'm actually speaking to someone from the diversity and inclusion team at PwC just to get a little bit more detail into sort of the problem space. So, it sounds like that the glass ceiling is slowly breaking, but I feel like the bamboo ceiling is still very, very present. Mm-hmm. I think an article from the Sydney Morning Herald reported that last year there was only 3% of leadership positions that were held by Asian. One of my favorite books by Jane Hoon on breaking the bamboo ceiling outlines how Asians who are traditionally raised in Confucianism values struggles in a Western workplace. So the reason why initially I started Soy Spice Lingerie, coming back to everything, is because I love lingerie. I feel beautiful and I feel very confident when I wear it. But when I talk to my girlfriends about it, hardly any of them wear it. And so I was like, why is this the case? So I started doing more research and posting on Facebook forums, talking to everyone and anyone that I know that meets my demographic. And I realized that it's because they feel like they're outside of their comfort zone. It's something they feel like it's wrong to wear it. And it just clicked in my head that the cultural conditioning that's making these women feel like it is wrong to wear lingerie is also can also be applied in other aspects of their lives. Say, for instance, speaking up about their opinions, which is a very valuable attribute in our workforce. But growing up in an Asian household, we're taught not to speak up to our parents or people in authority, which can then translate to that person having less confidence when, for example, speaking up to their bosses, right? So in fact, when I was doing my research into cultural conditioning, I realized that traditionally how women are raised also is very, very similar to how Asians are raised. So women are taught to, stick to the rules, to ask for permission to do something first instead of make mistakes and apologizing for it. So these conditionings are also very prevalent in how Asians are brought up. So this causes a double-edged sword for when double-edged problem for when an Asian woman tries to go into leadership and entrepreneurship. However, Asian women growing up in a Western environment educated differently. Although we're taught to stick to the rules, we're also taught to speak up and be heard, which gives us a very unique opportunity to solve this problem. And this is exactly what I want Soy Spice to represent, essentially. So the idea that you had the confidence to try something new, that you push your boundaries, have the courage to push your boundaries, and you're loving yourself in the process. You can also do this in other aspects of your lives as well. Say, for instance, putting your hand up for a new project, speaking up in meetings, or trying something that's completely new, like entrepreneurship, for example.
I really like that. And I like how you talk a lot about you want women to have a lot of confidence, or and through you having your own, lingerie business, it kind of shows kind of both sides, confidence in yourself to do this kind of thing, which I guess you said, Asian women for that, it's not necessarily something that is, I guess, widely talked about. Is it that kind of thing?
No, I mean, it's still a very taboo topic, and something that we kind of still shy away from a lot of the times. And just like how we kind of shy away from speaking up to our bosses, which then hinders us from climbing the corporate ladder, or trying something that's completely new, like entrepreneurship, for example. So yeah, like one of the other reasons why I want to start it is because I want to use my own journey. I want to use my own example to inspire others around me. I want my daughter or my granddaughter's daughters even to feel like they can be a leader, they can be an entrepreneur. For so long, the leadership and entrepreneurship industry has been dominated by males. Even if you look into the media these days, you hardly see any female representation, nor are there any Asian representation in the media these days. So I feel like that sends a very negative message to the younger generation of people, and I want to be able to change that.
So also, so you've been kind of also designing or being involved kind of in the process of making your lingerie line. What have been kind of the responses that you've been getting from people who have had the opportunity to try it?
Yeah, I mean, the products that's currently offered here, the first, there's a couple of different, I guess, differentiating points that I want to create with my line. Firstly is the sizing that's being offered. A lot of us sort of Asian girls are a little bit more smaller busted, and we kind of struggle with finding sizing that really fits our body shape. And second of all, I feel like the designs, we could integrate some of the Asian designs, Asian infusion designs into the products over here. We're still keeping the shape and stuff, we can still keep the same, but I feel like it would be really nice to have some really beautiful subtle Asian designs on the actual garments themselves. Yeah.
Nice. And so what was, I guess, specific to you, what was your kind of family's reaction to you deciding to start this business?
So very, very, very good question. because I started my journey when I was very young, when I was 19, I studied psychology, so nothing to do with business. So when I first, sort of ventured out into this area where I had no idea, my mom was very sort of against it, especially because she, like, when I was doing the charity at first, she was kind of just feeling like I was just doing it for fun, which I kind of was, I was just testing the waters out, just to see what it's like. But when I moved to Sydney to finish my final year in my bachelor's degree, that's when I started my proper business, which was Ori, which was helping international students find work experience. She was really, really, not, I wouldn't say really, really against it, but she was like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? You move into a new city to finish your degree in psychology. Now you're doing this thing that you had no idea about. And so for a while, our relationship was quite rocky. And so I grew up in a single parent family, and I really value her sort of thoughts and opinions, and I really respect her as a person. So that kind of really, I guess, lowered my self-esteem a little bit, but I just kept going. And I, ended up making my first sale, and then from that, I guess the business started growing. And because of that, I think she saw the potential in me. And so after that, my job at UNSW was pretty good. She was quite happy with that. So without that kind of experience, I started when I was young, I wouldn't be able to get to where I am now. So when I was telling her about quitting my full-time job to start this, at first she was like, oh gosh, this thing again. Like, we just went through this a few years ago, and now this thing is happening all over again. But I think she's a lot more supportive this time around.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah.
in light of your kind of experience, and you've been in entrepreneurship for a while now, what would you say, what advice would you kind of give maybe other women, or even Asian women specifically, who would like to go on this kind of entrepreneurship journey?
I think just give it a go. There's more to learn than there is to lose. I would never be able to learn as much as I do now about the world, about myself. I've built my confidence so much through this process. Like, before, I was actually quite shy. I consider myself as an introvert, but ever since I started running my own businesses, I became more extroverted, and I was really it just brought this side of me out that I never thought I had. Just give it a go, and even if you fail, that's okay. Just take that first step. Yeah.
And so, what do you think, I guess, are some of the important things, you yourself being an entrepreneur, what are some of the important things or kind of skills that you think are important to keep it going?
I think there's a couple of different ones, but the key ones would be, your motivation. Like, what drives you? Is there something that you're so passionate about that you would be able to, just go ahead when the whole world is crashing down around you? I think, persistence, determination, and, having a really good support network as well is very important. Having people that support you and not sort of tell you that you're doing the wrong thing, or just being negative around you, that wouldn't help you at all. Like, whether you're a girl or a guy, you need a very strong network. And then I think the last thing is just having that courage to just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Yeah.
Like Nike said, just do it.
Just do it. Yeah. Yeah.
Has there been anything at all, in your journey, specifically with Soy and Spice, that has kind of surprised you, maybe in your research, or maybe in how people have responded? Anything that has surprised you that you hadn't thought of before?
Yeah, because originally when I started this line, I wanted to just create bralettes, because I myself, I'm quite small, and I feel like there's the products that's currently existing right now. The variety isn't that much. So, I set out and did, research. I spoke to, first I spoke to 10 of my own friends, and I got them to send the survey out to their friends. So I ended up having around 40 responses that came back. And then I realized that, more people were actually interested in other range of lingerie, not just bralette. So I was like, hey, if I just stuck to this one product or this one product line, I will be limiting my own opportunities. So from then I started looking into the broader range of lingerie that was offered. And I guess the other thing would be how responsive everyone is, and just how nice and willing people, like how willingly people are to say they're to help you. Because at first, I felt like, is this idea a bit crazy, trying to represent this whole movement with lingerie? Like I was like, is anyone even going to get this? Like, am I going nuts? Yeah. I had all this doubt in my head, but then I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go start talking to people. And the more I talk to people, the more, the message actually resonates with them, and they kind of really understand what I'm trying to do, which is great. I think now is just a matter of, me getting the product into the market and getting actual sort of, feedback from the actual customers. So I've sold a few pieces right now, but I want to obviously get more feedback from my customers to understand what style they like, whether or not this is giving them the confidence and things like that.
The name Soy and Spice, where'd that come from? I'm always interested in names. Is there a cool backstory?
Yeah, there is. I thought about this long and hard. So soy and spice are the two ingredients that every Asian household has. If you open any Asian house pantry, you'll be able to see those you'll be able to see those ingredients no matter where it is. So I want my line to be a staple in my customer's wardrobe. And soy and spices, so you can play around with those two words like really easily. It's really fun, with soy I was thinking of having more of like the your day-to-day wear. With spice it's more of like your intimate, your more special occasion wear. So
Cute. And my final question for you, Mary, what is kind of your final word? What is it that you want women to feel when they wear Soy and Spice lingerie?
I want them to feel beautiful. I want them to feel beautiful inside and out, and that they can do whatever they want to do. They can be whoever they want to be. There's no limit to what you can achieve. As long as you put your mind to it, anything is possible. Like if I can start this, like you can do anything you want. That's my key message.
Oh, thanks so much. It's been great speaking with you.
Yeah, thank you. And I mean, like I said, I'm really open for this conversation to continue. So if any of your audience, anyone that's watching right now, is keen to join the conversation, tell me about your own experiences, wearing lingerie, or your cultural conditioning experiences. I'm more than happy to talk.
Soy _spice _ lingerie. Yes, have I got that right?
Yes. That's right. Or we've got a landing page up and running. We're building the full site on the back end right now. So just soyandspice.com. Feel free to go on there and have a look.
Easy.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Not a problem at all. It was great having you. And be sure to go check out Soy and Spice.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. See you.